So you just got your Cameo, or you've had it for a little bit. You know, you're really trying to just stretch your dollar, get bang for your buck, but most importantly, you're trying to just make sure that you are using all of the functionalities that your Cameo came with. In today's video, I'm going to show you how you can just keep up with your Cameo, like the maintenance and just the upkeep that it takes to just make sure it has that longevity, in addition to how to properly use all of the features in your Cameo so that way you can stretch your dollar and get your money's worth. What is up, Define Squad? Welcome, 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 and welcome back to another video. It's your girl Alex at Defined by Alex, where we are defining our lives and building our dreams, y'all. Welcome back. So as you guys can see here, I have my lovely Silhouette Cameo 4. I got this last year, and listen, learned a lot, okay? I've learned how to properly take care of it, how to make sure that I'm getting a lot of use out of it, because as y'all know, these aren't cheap, okay? So you really want to make sure that you're stretching your dollar. And I feel like I've gotten some questions just in my comments about people asking how to use the Cameo, and just really wanted to make sure that they know how to use it. And I totally get that, right? I mean, you buy something that's a high ticket item, you want to make sure that you know how to use it properly to, like I said in the beginning, get your money's worth, okay? Because no one has time to just buy something and not fully use it, you know, for its full functionality, and then you sitting there like, oh, well, I only use it for this one thing. No. If you get a Cameo 4, I highly suggest that you use it for all of what you can use it for, and that way it just makes yourself feel better. So I'm going to show you some basics so that you have a better understanding into how to use your Cameo, okay? Let's get into it. All right, friends, so let me just give you a quick overview of the Cameo 4. So I've had the Cameo 4, like I said, since last year, if I didn't say that. But yeah, I've had it since last year, and I think I've gotten pretty familiar with it. And so let me just go ahead and show you all the things that you may not know when it comes to your Cameo 4. So obviously this is the entire, you know, device. This is where your vinyl is going to be cut through, so I'm going to show you that in a second, how to properly apply that and load your vinyl into the feeder and things like that. So over here on the left, if you didn't know, the Silhouette comes with a storage compartment, and literally you just slide it. And if you want to put any like extra tools there, so let me see if this fits here. I don't use it, but I know it can like store extra blades like that, so that's pretty cool there. So if you have any extra blades that you're just ready to use, or you don't want to have them all over your workspace, then you can put one in here. It looks like for the most part it can only just fit one at a time, and so there you go, you just got some storage room right there. So that's pretty cool, and you just slide that back, okay? And so here in the middle, these are your tools, and so if you guys can see here, they're just labeled 1 and 2. And then in the software, you'll know where to load your blade, okay? So it'll also just help you out with that as well. And so this is what is going to cut your vinyl, and like I said, I'm going to show you that here in a second. So you're going to see how all that goes and how it loads, and it's just going to adjust when it's time to load and cut the vinyl. But if you guys just look closely, so tool 1, it actually is released. So when you lock in your blade, you have to just clip this into place, and it holds the blade in place. But then when you want to install the blade, you just pull it out. There's little grooves on the side here for you, so you can just grip it and just pull it gently. You don't have to pull it hard or anything. And so that's how you work that. Here is my auto blade, okay? This is what I use all of the time when it comes to cutting. I've never used any other blade when it comes to cutting vinyl. This has always done it perfectly for me. And so I am going to install it. Just press my finger down, let that fit into the groove, and you will know when it's not in there. You'll just honestly either see it or feel it when it comes to knowing if the auto blade is actually installed correctly. But y'all, it's not rocket science, right? So you're just putting it in there, so it's not even that like intuitive. So then you just click the lever back, and now it's in the groove. And so now my auto blade has been installed. I'm only using tool 1. So this tool over here, it just has never been used. So honestly, I just don't even bother to mess with it because I only use tool 1. Okay, so boom, you have that. So you have your storage, you have your auto blade, and how to properly put that in. If you're looking to replace it, all you have to do is just buy another one and install it the way that I just showed you guys. And then you have the actual vinyl feeder section that I'm gonna get to here in just a second. Okay, so when it comes to your Silhouette Cameo, a few things that you want to keep in mind of. They have these markings here for a reason, if you guys can see. And think of them, you guys, as like your margins or some type of like measuring concept, because it lets you know where to align your vinyl, and I think that's super helpful. So you have the ones here in the middle, you have the ones here off to the right, and then you have the ones here on the far left where your initial piece of vinyl and your cutting mat is going to be installed. Okay, so you have all of these indicators that's going to help you like lay out your vinyl and just know where to place everything if you just need, you know, just the guidance. So when it comes to the actual like roll part, when it comes to installing your vinyl, the silver bar here, you have your little adjusters as well. So when it comes to making sure your vinyl is in place, these two actually can slide both inward and outward. Like I said, it's all for adjusting purposes. And once you use your vinyl, you're gonna know exactly what I'm talking about, just to make sure that it's actually in place and nothing is moving. These are gonna be your best friend. This one to the far left, this one does not move. So like I said, the one, just think of your far left side is just your initiating start place of where to load your vinyl and make sure that nothing is going to be out of order. However, the rollers in the middle and the ones to the far right, these are adjustable. And so let me show you here. When it comes to adjusting, there is like a little button on this far right roller, and if I press it in, I can slide it. Okay, I can slide it inward, I can slide it outward, and all that stuff. So this is helpful because when you have smaller pieces of vinyl and you're not going to take up the whole real estate of the Silhouette, you know, roller, your vinyl might only take up, you know, this much space. Sorry guys if my camera's shaking. Your vinyl is only going to cover up this much space. Well, it's going to be helpful for you to scoot and just make sure your vinyl is in place. So let's say if it stops right here and you need to make sure it just cuts this area, you don't want your vinyl, you know, going off the grooves because it's not, you know, secure basically. And so over here, this lever controls this bar. So if I wanted to lift that down to lock it in place, I can. Let me give you guys a closer look. So I lift it and that lifts the bar. And then when I tack it back up, that pretty much puts it back down. So it's just locking that bar in place, okay? So these are just things that, again, if you're just getting started, it's really gonna help you navigate and just really use your Silhouette properly when it comes to cutting, and to make sure that your designs aren't getting shifted when they're sent, you know, into the software. Okay, y'all, so another cool thing about this Silhouette is that when you are, or if you are working with the Silhouette Cameo, you have like liquids or anything by it, it's going to be cool to just go ahead and use this hood here and just like slide it down. And then of course to access it, you want to go ahead and lift that up and slide that back, and then boom, now you have full control of your Silhouette. And again, if you just needed to know you're putting it away, or you just want to cover, of course, like the tools and all that stuff from getting damaged or anything, then you can use your hood to achieve that. So I thought that was pretty cool. If you wanted to just put it away and just have it looking like a clean look or whatever, you can do that too. Then let me show you guys another cool feature as well, which is on the back side. Okay guys, so now I'm going to show you how you can install a roll of vinyl into the roll feeder in the Cameo 4. I believe that the Cameo 4 and future models have the built-in roll feeder. If you have a 3 and you know, prior, it's not going to come with this attachment. So just FYI, if you're looking to, you know, just make sure that you got everything that you need, then you can purchase the Cameo 4 because it comes with the built-in roll feeder. So let me show you how you can use this, okay? So I have my vinyl here, and like I said, this just is a roll of vinyl. This is Caesar Easy Weed, which you can purchase from Heat Transfer Warehouse as well. I love purchasing all of my vinyl from Heat Transfer Warehouse. And you can also purchase a Silhouette Cameo too. So if you guys are really interested in purchasing and getting started right away, then I'll make sure I leave links in the description box below. I am an affiliate with Heat Transfer Warehouse, so if you're interested in purchasing from me and using my code, then I suggest you use the link there. You can get it. They have a lot of them in stock, and you also can get different colors too. So that's just a little fun fact about this device if you're interested in where to purchase it from. So let me show you how to install this in the roll feeder. So I'm going to lift up this lever here. We have some little like flaps here on the right, and then I have another flap on that side, and then you have little prongs as well that fits inside the grooves. And so what I'm going to do is a trick to making sure that it's going to feed in properly is making sure it's super just like wound tight, so that way it won't shift, okay? So I'm just going to put it inside the one latch and then put it inside the second one. Then I'm going to just scoot it, just make sure it's in there. Hold on, let me flip it this way. Okay, and then now, because it's so curly, I have to just kind of adjust it just a little bit to fit it through here. But once I get it, then it's in there. Okay, perfect. So hopefully you guys can see that. So as you guys can see here, I've installed it inside the roll feeder, and then this is where I'm going to actually put it through the actual machine. But this is also a good point to make here. So earlier when I showed you guys how to adjust all of your bars on your knobs here, so like these roll tools, I didn't pull this back. So when I install this, it's only going to cover this much of the vinyl, and then all of this is just going to be free falling. I don't want that, so let me just go ahead and adjust that now. So I'm just going to lift my lever over here, and I just slid that back over to the right, so that way it can cover all of my vinyl. And I'll show you guys here better in just a second. And I'm going to adjust my levers here. Cool. Now to give you guys a better view, so now you can see how the vinyl roll is installed into the roll feeder, and then how everything is aligned as well. So that's going to be your best bet to installing, you know, any larger piece of vinyl, to make sure that you are maximizing, you know, using all of the vinyl that you buy. And I'm going to press my upwards arrow. Like I said, the one on the left is the upwards one, and the one on the right is the downwards direction. I'm just going to press that, and boom. So now you guys can see how that just takes care of it, and it loads it in for me. I have my locking roller over here to the left, and that's locked in place, because when this latch is lifted up, that means that the bar is pretty much hoisted in here, and then when I pull it down, then it's released. So upward motion locks it in, side motion it releases it, so you can adjust all of your bars. Okay, boom, got it. Now let me show you guys how this is going to look on the back side, and then if you wanted to make that precise cut, I'm going to show you how that applies to this right now. Okay guys, so on the back here of the Cameo, you guys see there's like this little vent like space, and this is going to allow your vinyl to feed all the way through the back. So these latches here on the right and on the left, if you guys can see here, I can flip these down, and as you guys saw, there is just like a little piece of material that's going to close out that vent, and nothing's going to be able to feed through. Now what happens is that if you want to have a more precise cut, you're going to make sure that this is closed down. So like I said, I put the latches down, and this slider over here to the right, when you move this over, this is how you're going to be able to get a more precise cut. Okay, so it slides it to the left, and then when you're done, you can lift it up and then it opens up that space again for you, and then you can continue cutting. So this is going to be a really helpful tool for those of you who are just mass producing your designs and you want to have more precise cut. You can achieve that with this back portion here, where it allows you to feed the vinyl through, and then once you close the latch as well, you have a precise cut. Okay, take that back over, and then boom, you can keep doing what you got to do. Okay guys, so because I've loaded my vinyl in, I have more navigation buttons, so that way I can continue to just move it through the Cameo if I need to. So I know this is backwards from how you're seeing it, but it's just because of how I'm facing, and I have the Cameo backwards. But when I press the down arrow, it's gonna trick you, because you might think that it's gonna pull it outward. It's actually gonna pull it through, okay? So the trick with the Cameo is that the downwards arrow is actually gonna feed the vinyl through the back. So let me show you. So I'm just pressing that. Okay, so that's another trick. And the reverse, if I wanted it to retract, I'm just gonna press the upwards arrow, and that's actually gonna send it back towards the roll feeder, okay? See, I reversed it. Okay, so now we have, like I said, downward arrow is feeding it towards me. I'm facing backwards, so it's actually gonna feed, like I said, back to me. And then the upwards arrow feeds the opposite direction. So just keep that in mind when you're navigating your vinyl. Okay, so that looks good. Okay, great. So now you guys can see how it looks in the back of the Cameo. So this is what it looks like when you feed it all the way through. Now going back to these latches on the side, when I release these or set these down, now what I can do is take my little, like it's my cutter piece, I'm gonna slide that over. And now I have a nice even cut of vinyl, okay? So that's super cool. Like I said, if you really wanted to make sure that you're using your vinyl, if you're like just a frugal person, which there's no problem with that, you just definitely want to make sure that you're saving your vinyl. If you have scraps, save your scraps, guys, okay? Trust me, let me just tell you right now, your scraps are going to help you. So this is how you do that if you want like a more precise cut. And then to just undo that, I slide this cutter back here. Oh, I got some more pieces left in here, hold on. All right, got a little piece that was left over. I slid that back, and then voila, it's back to how it started. Okay friends, so now I'm going to take some time to talk about just like the maintenance and upkeep when it comes to your Cameo. So let me show you my cutting mat, because I'm kind of happy it looks this crusty, just because this is not how it's supposed to look. Okay, so this is my cutting mat. You guys can see here, you see all that stuff. You don't want it. You don't want that on your cutting mat. You don't want lint and hair and just other debris from the vinyl. Like the adhesive is barely there, okay? You don't want that. Like my finger should not be coming off this easily. So, and then I have a freaking hole, like y'all, this is going through it, okay? So I say all of that to say that the reason why you want to make sure that you're keeping up with your cutting mat is because this can affect your designs, and I would hate to see that for you, okay? So just make sure that if your cutting mat is getting to look like this, toss it. I don't even want you to do anything else but throw it away, replace it. You can reuse it as something else if you like, but I'm telling you, once you lose this adhesive, it ain't good for you. Like, let's just call it what it is. It's a done deal. All right, so that's that. Again, I don't want your designs to be affected, so I strongly encourage you, as far as your silhouette Cameo, keep in mind that you're gonna have to replace certain things. Like for one, the cutting mat, and then the next item that you're gonna have to replace when you see your designs getting affected or they're not cutting properly, you gotta change your auto blade, okay? Like, again, I had to find out like this, so this is why I'm telling you guys how you know, you have to do it to just get the longest stretch out of your cameo that you can. And so I recently replaced my auto blade, I'll say about a couple of months ago, and I've had the same auto blade I've used when I first bought this cameo, and that began to wear out. And so what I realized was that this has cut so many things. It's been punctured and all that stuff. It's punctured through so much vinyl. It didn't dawn on me that I had to replace it. So I say this, you can go ahead and adjust your cut settings if you're having areas where you see like your designs aren't cutting well. But I strongly also want to just encourage you to replace your auto blade and just have a couple of them handy if you're going to be heavily using your cameo. And in the beginning of this video, I showed you guys that you have a storage compartment so you can keep all this stuff just on hand. So boom, when your auto blade goes down, all you have to do is grab your extra one and you're good to go. So I say that just because I want you guys to just really get the best out of your cameo, okay? I'm team cameo, as you can tell. And when it comes to your cut settings, yes, you can change them. Again, you probably should too, because once you replace your auto blade, you will have to adjust your cut settings as well, just because it's going to be a fresh, sharp blade, which means it's going to puncture through everything that you install. All right, so in a nutshell, when it comes to your silhouette maintenance, I strongly encourage you guys to just reinvest in these two items, cutting mat, auto blade, because that's how you're gonna really, just extend the life of your cameo for. Okay, Define Squad, so that concludes today's video on how you can properly take care of your cameo, what you need to know when it comes to replacing your auto blade and your cutting mat, and how to load all the things you need to load for your cutting and your designs and all that good stuff. Okay, so if you're interested in purchasing a silhouette cameo, you can do that by clicking in the description box below. I'll leave a link for you guys, so go ahead and have at it. Happy creating, friends. But until next time, don't forget to drink your water, mind your business, and always choose yourself first, okay? And I'll catch you in my next video. Bye, y'all.